Hello everyone! Today we have a special guest, Mirko,
Hi.
who supported me in checking out the Ostwall or the Wadebogen, and I think he told it to me before, but I kind of forgot it. He was actually a Fallschirmjäger in his time in the Bundeswehr, and I thought, well, if we are here at the Ostwall, why not do an interview about his experience and impression of being, I think you were conscript, or so give us a basic background of your military career or how everything happened.
I was 18. I stopped going to school. I didn't really finish. And I started an apprenticeship, which I also didn't really like or enjoy. I was really sure that this wasn't the thing I wanted to do for the next years. And so you had the option to just stop it within the first 3 months. Both sides could say, okay, this is not working. That's what I did. And then the German Army, as they did back then in 2009 or 2008, recruited me. They sent me a letter, hey, here's your draft notice. You have to show up and get qualified, get tested on physical
Stellung,
stuff.
Yeah.
And
I think it's called a draft, yeah.
Yeah, I got drafted and got pretty good test results, I guess.
And for a bit of background, basically from what I know, that's the main difference between Germany and Austria, because in Austria basically everyone was chosen, but many went to the alternative service. But I think in Germany it was rather uncommon that you were even at that point even selected anymore, right?
If I remember correctly, it was the last year of a general draft in general.
But also in the general draft, they only selected a certain percentage.
Yeah,
so
at that point, yeah.
So in this way, you could say you didn't choose the Stugleif chose you, or the Bundeswehr chose you.
Yeah, and I kind of chose the Bundeswehr because initially I volunteered for 23 months. Which is like the voluntary draft, however that translates. Freiwilliger Wehrdienst, it's called in German. Which they told me, hey, you're going to get a medic training, like a professional medical training, and you are going to learn how to drive a truck, a civilian truck. And I thought, wow, these two together are perfect. I can work anywhere, at any rescue station, emergency services, all that good stuff. So I went to my basic training, which is, or back then was split into 2 parts. First 2 months is real general basic training, crawling through the mud, shooting your guns, all that stuff.
Getting screamed at.
And then the 3rd month is the specialist training, you could say. Well, in the basic terms. So that's when I did my medic training, which was just basic level, not what you learn when you do your driver's license, but pretty much you could cramp it down to a week, I guess. The contents of this course, and that also got translated into civilian life, but it's not really worth anything. And the basic training was real fun. The people I got to know there.
You liked boot camp?
Yeah, I really did.
Okay.
But back then I was like this, and after the boot camp I was like this.
Okay.
And it really got you fit as freaky.
Were you stressed out in boot camp? Yes, or? Were you stressed out as well?
Yeah,
okay.
Of course.
So
I mean, you get up early,
everything.
you get home late, but we still had weekends. It's not like in the 80s, you know. We after probably 6 p.m. or something, normally there wouldn't have been any more programs or sport.
So Saturday you had nothing?
No.
Okay, difference for me, I was in 2001. From January to September, and we had in boot camp, it was 5 days, and on Saturday basically till noon, and then there was a final checkup if everything is in order, and then you could leave the barracks.
For us you could even, I think it only was in the 3rd month of basic training, so the specialist training, where you could even sleep at home if you were living near the barracks in the week.
Okay, yeah, I know. I think I'm not sure when it started. I mean, I was also headquarters company, so I think our medics actually left after the first 4 weeks, but it could also be after 8 weeks. I can't remember that specifically. And one question: when did you get your gun?
They were pretty much saying you received your G36 in the cradle because you are a man, you are living in Germany, and you didn't do anything against going to the army, against getting drafted. So here's your gun.
But which day more or less? In the first week?
No. I think second to third week, somewhere there.
Okay.
But that was also the period where we almost started shooting right away. So first you get it, you get to disassemble it quite a few times, like probably 200 times on a day or something. And after you've carried it around for a while and show you're capable of not fucking that up, I guess, they finally give you some ammo.
I might be wrong here. I think we got it in the first week.
Mm-hmm.
I think. Did you had a ceremony or something?
We had the Gelöbnis, which is the point where you, if you
but no, for getting the gun or something? Was there some kind of ceremony for getting the gun?
No.
Okay, because
we lined up in front of the weapons room.
Okay. No, for us, we had it, but it could be a speciality because maybe due to our company commander, I think it was on more or less the evening a bit. So this also goes a bit to put everything in contrast. And I think it was the first week, and it was in the evening, and it was outside. It was not like down at the weapons guy, so at the armory. But yeah, so in your case, it was more like getting the clothes and everything. And in our case, it was like a special ceremony.
We got the clothes on the first day, which is kind of a funny story because we had to leave the barracks and go over the street to the next area over, which is the LHBV, the storage for everything you get to wear in the army, I guess. And we had to pack our big bags with 60 kilos or something of equipment, and had to carry them over back to our barracks buildings. And I think
you have to cross the guard. You had to cross the guard line.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
But 2 or 3 people on that 200-300 meter walk already collapsed because they couldn't handle the weight, I guess.
I think ours was a bit more. I think it was 2 or 3 times, so it was more easy to carry, and it was also inside the barracks. I think the whole distance was basically 200 meters or something.
Yeah, I mean the barracks are. The barracks themselves are defined by the fence, I guess, but the whole area was army. So they even cut it down in the Cold War. There was a whole tank barracks on the other side of the forest, which we were training in. So it has been cut down a lot. The barracks where I had my basic training doesn't exist anymore. So.
Mine exists, but not as a military facility. I think they are basically abandoned now.
Yeah.
But were your barracks? Were they also from the Second World War? Because ours were basically built, I think, after the Anschluss.
I think it was 70s when it was built, telling from the buildings. But we also still had air raid shelters in the ceiling and in the cellar.
I don't think we had air raid. I don't think we had air raid shelters. So a bit of this might be a bit wrong. I think Philip from the Swiss Army told me I think they got the weapon on the first or second day even, I think. So it seems like Swiss first, then Austrians. Of course, I'm only referring to my company. Could be completely different. And you were
same for ours.
And you were rather late. And this already. But you said you got the gun, and for instance, I think we ran around with the gun for several weeks because I was initially really scared of the gun.
Okay.
But then, if you run around with this thing for several weeks, it's okay. And then when we finally went to shooting, I think I was pretty much okay with the gun at that point. But for you, it was 1 week or something?
Yeah, I think we had if I remember correctly, of course, it was 10 years ago.
Yeah, this is 10 years ago, and basic training and everything is rather intense. So memory errors are here.
Yeah, but muscle memory is still there. Give me a G36 now, and I will disassemble it. I think we got the gun on the first day, and obviously got told the basic safety rules, which we were told in advance, obviously, but with the gun in our hands. We had to do loads of sports with it, of course.
You did sports with the gun?
Yeah. Disassemble it, like just running around and stuff.
But not with the sports clothes?
No, that was in green.
Okay, because for me sports is basically it's like the PT gear.
No, that was more the real like field related sports.
Ah,
guess.
okay.
So crawling around the field with a gun in your hands.
I think for English this would be exercise or something, but not sports, because sports is basically PT, and then you usually I guess you had also different clothes for doing sports. Yeah, because there's like. Did you also had different helmets for marching, marching in parade and for parade duty?
We usually took the camo netting off, or the canvas flag tarn thing, and we obviously for training marching and all that stuff we just used our regular camo uniform and regular helmet if we did even use one. For the Gelöbnis we had our großer Diener, which is the tuxedo I always wanted to say.
Ah, okay, the good uniform, the Ausgehuniform, how I call it in English. This ceremony uniform is incorrect, but you know what we mean.
Yeah, but some sort of like that.
Did conscript get this as well?
Yeah,
that's interesting. For instance, we only had the basic stuff. We had like the shirt. The green shirt, and we used the green shirt for crawling in the mud and for the ceremony and everything else.
Okay.
So yeah, that's kind of funny because I think I had this before that I talked to German guys who served and they said no, we have a different ceremony uniform.
Yeah.
And I think in our case only people that are not conscripts get it in the Austrian Army. It could also be different now.
I'm not really sure. I think we got it on the first day because it was just part of the stuff we got. But some of us did get some changes to them right before the Gelöbnis. And that was really the ceremony after 2 months before the specialist training, where we were soldiers per se. And we were recognized as part of the Bundeswehr, and that was also the point where after that you could go out of the barracks in uniform, which you weren't allowed before, and all that stuff. So you really were a soldier after that.
Yeah, I think for us it was, at this point we got the Beret, or I'm not sure how it's called, since I was a Panzer Grenadier, I mean it was headquarters company, so I was not really Panzer Grenadier. And it's actually black.
He is the one thing, Ich glaube is not as binding in face of the law, I guess.
So you have two different, one for conscripts and for non-conscripts.
Yeah. So it's not really expected from you to do the same duties with the same determination as a full paid soldier, I guess.
Interesting.
I don't know if that.
I have to look up if there's a difference in Austria as well, because for me actually it's kind of weird, because either you defend your country or you don't.
Well, you do swear that you will defend your country, and
and the other is I also invade other countries probably or something.
I think it's more to do with things like peacekeeping missions, I guess.
Yeah.
Because that's not expected from.
Because you can't say invade anymore, so you say now peacekeeping. Keep everything politically correct, you know. But I think we are getting too close to politics, so let's move away.
Yeah, let's get to guns again.
Yeah, let's talk about guns.
That's way more fun. So we received our gun. As I said, we did lots of training with it, not sports. We did a lot of like dry training with it, I guess, so no ammo inside.
Do you also use blank ammo?
We used the which is not only blank, it's not fireable.
Okay.
Exercise
ammunition, so it doesn't fire at all?
Yeah.
So you had no blanks?
There's no powder load in there at all. They're a bit of rubber, I think, or something.
But
so we used blanks later.
Ah, okay.
But for the first training, like for the day we spent on the grass outside our barracks buildings, that was just with these exercise bullets that couldn't fire at all. They were inert.
We didn't have any exercise bullets. We had none, or we had blank, which in our case were plastic and blue.
Yeah, we had green ones.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. And did you have also something to put into your gun if you fire blanks? Probably.
No, you have the MFD, Mündungsfeuer.
So yeah, you have a
something.
screw that you drop.
Yeah, it's a gas regulator pretty
Yeah.
much, so the gas cannot
Yeah.
leave the barrel directly.
So you put in something there that you have enough gas pressure going back that the reloading mechanism works.
Well,
To put
if
it
the guys
simply.
from the armory were nice to you, they would turn a screw that would regulate the gas pressure so the gun would actually cycle when it fired. But 90% of the guns weren't adjusted like that. So you were laying, if we were shooting, you were laying there in a situation with blanks. And they told us Sturmabwehrfeuer, which is going full auto and emptying your magazine into the next dude running towards you. Doesn't really work if it only repeats once and then we
Okay.
get stuck halfway open again.
Ours worked, I think, for the most part. The only thing was, of course, the screw in front is also that not any particles come out as well.
Yeah, and
so
the gas isn't really-
it's also a safety issue. But on the side,
Yeah.
on the muzzle brake, there's something coming out. So it's not. It's
You
also
shouldn't
quite-
put your hand on
yeah,
top of it.
or put it next to. I mean, we had actually one guy who, when you do the safety stuff, like we fired blanks, and then you do like you reload that
But you
everything
can only
flies
fail
out.
that if
and
your
then you
magazine is still in.
Yeah, and then you fire. Yeah. So make everything sure, and we had this. It's like it's idiot proof, and it's not, because we have actually one guy when we were out in the swamp, and then you like, I think you reload 2 or 3 times so that everything is out, even without the magazine, just to be sure. And then even then you put it in the air or down to the ground, depending where
And
you are,
look in the chamber,
and you look
inspect
at
it.
and then you fire to make sure that nothing is in there. And
also
suddenly
so
the thing, and then one gun goes off, and it's like, how the fuck?
I think that happened in almost any basic training unit, because that happened in ours too, but with actual ammunition. And the guy almost took the guy standing next to him took his foot off almost. So that was yeah. But I think it's it was actually the trainer who didn't pay attention enough, I guess.
Yeah.
Because in that situation, if you're handling a live gun for the first time, honestly, I think it's more responsibility of the trainer than the actual shooter.
I don't know the situation,
keep everything safe.
but this was like, I think this was the 5th time we used blank ammo and trained this, like, because we were in line in the swamp, and basically this was just everything, and then blink, and then suddenly it goes off. And this thing is it's next to you, and it's still pretty close, and it's at eye height. At this point, I think we were pointing up, because like in the barracks when we reloaded or something, we had actually, there was a sand thing, you put it in there. So, and to make everything sure, that was when I was a guard at doing the assistance.
That's with live ammo though normally. Yeah.
And do you remember more or less how much ammunition did you fire?
Blanks?
No, live ammunition.
Oh, that would have been easier to count though. Live, probably like in basic training, 60 rounds or something.
Alright.
It's like you get your certificate, your certification that you can hit a target at that range X amount of times, and then you get your pistol qualification. And later I got my MG and anti-tank rifle, Panzerfaust qualification.
Anti-tank, not the rifle. RPG, rocket, brute grenade, but that's incorrect. Yeah, your anti-tank.
Rocket launcher.
Rocket. Yeah, anti-tank rocket, I think it's, yeah. So, you were also trained on the Panzerfaust.
Yeah, but that has more to do with the fact that I transitioned from being a medic, or a full medic, which was thought to be a full medic afterwards. I got moved to the Paratroopers and their unit, which wasn't my original plan, and that I've been told different things, because, as I said, they promised me you will get to be a medic and you get to drive trucks. Both I didn't do. Most of the time I spent sitting around the office, because in our unit we were 4 medics, and the next unit over, the next company, had 250.
Medics?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So you can imagine how much we had to do.
Okay. Just you were trained on the Panzerfaust. How many shots did you fire? So
3 to 5 or something.
and these were blanks or were they?
Yeah, no blanks.
No life. Just for clarification, this was for conscript or this was for the Fallschirmjäger?
No, that was for the paratroopers.
Okay. Because we were as conscripts. We were trained on a Panzerabwehrrohr, which is basically in a tube, anti-tank rocket, and we were firing. And this was quite funny. They used a 9mm pistol round.
Yeah.
With tracer. During the day, you fired at a small, I think at 50 meters, but it was so small of a tank that it was like simulated.
Yeah.
And it was it's kind of weird if they tell you, this is the anti-tank rocket and here's a 9mm round with tracer and put it in there.
It works. It has almost like the same ballistics, I think. The RPGs have the same trainers.
Yeah, I assume, but it's like, I think the main difference is because one of the trainers said as he fired once a thing, you don't feel anything if you fire a training thing, and the other one is like, you're getting a slap in the face.
Training rounds for the Panzerfaust were actually,
I assume they were similar.
Like plastic rockets, you could say. We could split wood with that on 300 meters. So that was not a joke.
yeah, I assume that's quite different. But then you were not a conscript at this part.
Yeah, no.
So it's a Fallschirmjäger.
Given us such a thing as a conscript.
And that was headquarters company. So basically, yeah.
We didn't throw any grenades, for example, in basic training. So.
Really, no grenades at all? Because we flew.
I'm not sure because of the basic stuff or because of basic training. Could be either.
I think we threw two training grenades, and on the same day we flew one live grenade. It was like basically everyone except I think one or two guys were like, and they actually put a target out there, and basically nearly no one tried to hit it.
Yeah,
and
just
one
get
guy,
that fucking grenade out there.
Get the thing away. And one guy actually, he like really tried to hit it and everything, and the company commander called him out, yeah, well done and everything. You were one of the few who actually tried. And for us it was more like, get this thing away from me, okay? Because
we had the internet back then. You know the GIF where the German soldier throws the grenade against the tree, right?
No.
No?
No.
Oh well, I have to send it.
And
Someone send it to him.
and I mean, we had internet back then, but it was not common. And yeah, I mean, 2001, it was like.
Okay, no.
That was like.
For me.
That was like the GIF probably would have loaded too long. That I don't need. There's something else.
But yeah, I think at our time, like everyone had seen this GIF, and yeah, probably even the people in charge, and they thought, well, maybe don't give conscripts grenades.
Yeah, it was basically. I think it was really in this case the company commander was supervising you. So we were on a long road. There was the everything was basically the wall, and you also had the netting and everything protected, but I think you saw the damage from all the small particles or shrapnel, basically. The small balls, yeah. I mean, it's really balls, like not. That's not why I call them fragments, but fragments as well, probably. Yeah, that was like quite interesting to see them. It was like, and you're standing there, and then the guy throws, and then you wait, and you're kind of. It's complete. It's probably the best combination of what you have in military in. Complete boredom and also very uncomfortable because it's in a way life-threatening. So this was like probably the most can we get over this? How fast? Okay, how many grenade? Yeah, chuck it away, get out of here.
I think the most exciting thing in basic training probably was what is known as bivouac. I don't know if it's even.
I think it's called bivouackering or something in English. It's rather similar. Bivouackering. It's basically you. In winter, right?
The German long version is Bundeswehr im Wald außer Kontrolle.
Bundeswehr
Army in the woods,
forest, out of control. Yeah, okay.
That is pretty fitting. We went there. I had a winter basic training because you obviously can start at any quarter. So it was actually a winter bivouac. From our company, I think not even half made it out. Because they looked outside and they said, no, I'm not going. We had minus 22 degrees and snowstorm.
Yeah.
for 3 days.
Yeah. That's uncomfortable.
I think from the half that went out with us, half went back in that day or that evening. And we got back into the barracks after 17 kilometers of marching with the compass and the map. So we had to find our way. And I think we were 12 people left from the around 60.
With full gear?
Yeah.
So we
guns, all the backpacks.
So the big
helmets.
backpack. 17 kilometers. That's a lot.
Yeah. I don't remember how much of that was due to us moving the wrong way.
Okay, so it was not planned. So to give a bit of contrast here, for instance, what was one key, I mean, it's not called qualification, but one key step was a 10-kilometer march.
Mm-hmm.
And this was done with the Kampfanzug 2, if I remember correctly, which is the Battle Suit 2, which really sounds amazing, but basically was a small backpack. This was, I think, 8 kilograms or something. Yeah.
Yeah. We didn't receive the Berghaus yet. That was also, I think, 13 kilos or something is the most you can put into that.
Basically, for us, it's like you split it up. You don't get it at one point. You get everything, and then this is just.
No, we had different backpacks.
Okay, so I think we had rather poor equipment at that point, but it was modelized already. So I think the Kampfanzug 1 was, I think, everything.
Yeah.
And 2 was just a small thing, or it could be the Katz 1 was basically nothing. It was just basically the bandoliers.
Yeah.
And Katz 3 was actually the big one. So I don't really remember. So it's quite insane if you get like orientation march with full gear, but that was also paratroopers.
After 3 days of sleeping outside, 2 nights.
But that was also paratroopers, right?
No, that was in the medic basic training.
Holy!
As I said, we were commando medics.
Commando medics. What is a commando medic?
The unit was called, or is still called, Kommando Schnelle Einsatzkräfte Sanitätsdienst. So Commando Quick Reaction Force, I guess.
So you were also trained in combat and everything?
That would have been the final step. Like the unit does all the pretty much, I think, what the pararescue guys do in the U.S. Army. So medivacs and casivacs, really carrying under fire, all that stuff. Okay. That's what I wanted to do.
Because I interviewed a Navy corpsman, I think 2 or 3 years ago, and when I asked him what happens if somebody gets hurt in combat, do you rush there and try to help? And he says, no, first we establish fire superiority.
Yeah.
So you have the same. So yeah, basically first...
I mean, if you are a dedicated medic, obviously your responsibilities lie more with the patient than with fighting. But if you don't
you're a combat medic in this case, yeah, of course. Okay. So that's pretty insane. 70 kilometers, yeah, okay, but yeah, then...
17.
17, yeah.
Not 70.
I think I said 17.
Okay.
Okay, I meant 17. Maybe I said, I guess you heard it right, but I meant 17. It's still, because for us it was a 10-kilometer thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it was done the whole company, but still it was not that hard, but it's just...
It's a mental thing.
Yeah, and it's walking with, we have just 10 kilograms or 8 kilograms or 13 and not like the full thing.
Mm.
And it was also dedicated just doing that. So you walk a very simple way. I mean, there's one NBC warning, ABC alarm. So everyone puts on the gas mask and then you continue marching, but not the full suit, just the mask.
We didn't even have a full suit. We still had leftover East German Army rain ponchos.
Yeah, we had something similar. We had like plastic things that you put over and they went everywhere, but they were like thicker, what do you get at the shop, more or less, and they were usually used before several times.
Well, so if it's waterproof, it's chemical proof, right?
Yeah, so. It was like it was one of the most uncomfortable things because, well, if they want to properly clean out or if they want to properly dry, let's
continue with something else.
So you were also trained on the MG3, right?
Yeah.
So how much ammo did you shoot with that?
I have no idea. A few bells.
Let's
say a few bells.
So a few seconds auto fire, I guess.
Yeah, I mean.
Can you shoot single shots?
Yeah, but only if you put single rounds in.
So
you basically just open up the cover every time and put a single round in.
Okay, but so basically the trigger is not sent.
No, okay, I don't. At least I don't recall it having a semi-auto function now.
Okay. Anything about the MG3?
Once you've shot it, you know where the hammer hangs, as you would say in German. Like just the feeling of pulling this lever all the way back to the shoulder and then really having to ram it forward again instead of just releasing it. And the first failed recoil, and also like all the instructions we got, like really lay into it.
Yeah.
Make sure you have it in your shoulder firmly, otherwise it will break your shoulder.
That's bullshit.
That's quite the statement.
Yeah.
No, I'm really sure it wouldn't.
Well, because
unless you don't like. I think you can.
The thing is, because
if you're dumb enough.
this is not an interesting thing that you said that, because this was really funny. We have the MG74, which is very similar to yours. It's basically NATO ammunition, and it's the MG42 with a few minor changes and NATO ammunition. So, and I heard from a friend who was there, like they said the break the shoulders thing again, because also he was an MG gunner. Now I was invited by Philip to go to Switzerland to fire the original MG42, which has not 7.62 NATO but 7.92 Mauser, which has a bit more oomph. Not that much more, but it has still more oomph.
It's the same as the gun.
And I was actually scared about breaking my shoulder potentially. And he said, well, it's kind of interesting, but it doesn't make very much sense. And I fired the thing, I think at least, I fired 50 or 100 shots or something.
It would definitely hurt your shoulder though.
No, nothing.
No?
No,
well,
it was not a bruise, nothing.
Right, I guess.
And the thing is, I'm bones. I'm bones and a bit of muscle, but mostly skins and bones.
Yeah, I can confirm.
So as Chifton said, you are unhealthily skinny or thin. And I had nothing at all, because I was actually scared, and I probably the Bren or something hurt me more. So it was like, and the thing is, the most of the recoil is actually absorbed for the reloading mechanism. So I found this quite like, I found it like afterwards. I found, cute Bernard, or cute old Bernard. You were scared of breaking your shoulder with the MG42,
well,
and
shoot
then
it for a day straight though. Then we will talk again. And you will definitely there will probably be comments from people who are in the German army right now. I've talked to one like.
But that's not breaking. That is like a
it would definitely.
If it wears you down, I get it. If you shoot a lot, it wears you down. But but breaking is usually from a 1 point impact at a certain. It's like it doesn't work. If you say wear down or something, I have no idea, because I just shot a few rounds. But the thing is, breaking is like from a certain impact and you get something wrong.
Yeah.
So
I think it's just an urban legend, probably.
Yeah, I think it's pretty much. I think it's basically to say that you pay attention at that point, because it's interesting to see like these myths, because they're like other myths, like bootcamp myths, that they put something in your food that you're not horny. And you can look this actually up. I did. This is an urban legend, and it's written there. And I also talked with Chifton about this, and he said immediately, "No, we don't do this."
Yeah.
So that's a legend. And
I can confirm what the chocolate does, though.
What does the chocolate do?
Well, if you are out in the field and the last thing you have in your EPA is the chocolate, you can probably tell what it will do. Seal you up.
Ah, okay. Okay, yeah.
That definitely works.
Okay, yeah. I don't want to know. So basically, the breaking the shoulder, I think Philip noted if you're really clumsy and have a very bad day or something, you can do it. But basically, if you can hurt yourself, of course, but it's pretty hard, I think, actually to do it.
Yeah, it's probably just
be
careful, you break your shoulder.
Yeah. Because we talked about this, a lot of the recoil from the machine gun is actually. He told me that the worst actually is the rifle, is the bolt action rifle, because the bolt action rifle, there's only your shoulder to absorb the recoil.
There's no springs or anything.
Yeah, and for the MG42, the recoil actually is there. This is one of the reasons why firing from the hip is usually it stops after a while, because it doesn't get back, so the recoil mechanism actually gets out of hand.
If you can shoot a full belt from the hip anyway, you're probably weighing 200 kilos or more.
Yeah, but still you don't provide like the strong enough.
Yeah.
You still move around, so it can well, bring the mechanism out of sync.
I think we would need an Ian McCollum in the middle here to solve that question.
Yeah, or Philip. Philip is also very well known with that stuff.
But yeah, I can, if you have any more basic training questions.
So do you have anything? I think we covered a lot. I also, and by the way, sorry for interjecting my own stuff, but I assume you're also interested and also like to see the contrast. So because we didn't spoke about this before, so anything you want to add from your side, I would say, which we didn't cover.
What I think for the viewer, for you at home, it's really important. Like, I'm not against the army. I'm not disappointed what happened to me personally, because I think it showed a bit that I wasn't too happy about the way things turned out.
I think we didn't cover that. You changed then later on, not. Yeah, you changed to conscription.
My career was changed pretty much. So first I was told all that medic stuff. Then I received my letter of whatever, where you get told where your next unit will be, and that was the Paratroopers. And I read that 3 times. And I went, are you serious?
I think this is. By the way, I think this might come because I remember I talked to someone lately from the U.S. Army. And the person was told, I would be going to Florida, but then I ended up in Texas, and I never wanted to go to Texas or something. And so basically it was like, okay, so it seems kind of okay to tell you one thing, and in the end, no, what the recruiter tells you.
I know
once you sign, so it's like, nope, you are now our property, more or less, and we could do everything else. Or what you said, like.
It's sad though, because if I would have actually gotten there, I would have. There's a possibility I would still be at the army today, 10 years later. But it didn't happen. So after 6 months, I think passed, I asked around when I would start receiving my trainings, because it was still written there that I would get them, and the only answer I received was a laugh. That's when I just pulled back my application pretty much to do the 23 months and stepped it down back to the only required 9 months, which was possible back then.
Okay.
Didn't regret that at all.
Well, I think
that's a good point to
stop. So thank you for watching, and see you next time. And big thank you here, Mirko.
Yeah, of course.
And also be sure to check out his channel.
Beyond the Blast Door.
And well, then, bye.
Bye.